Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review and demo on the Ultra Le Tint Velvet Foundation by Chanel. This was actually a requested video by one of my subscribers, so I wanted to go ahead and do a quick review and demo for you guys so you guys can get a little bit more information about this product and how it works for my skin. Now, if you haven't been following my channel for long, first of all, thank you for being here. Second of all, I wanted to tell you what type of skin I have. I have oily in my T-zone, and then I have normal everywhere else. Now, during the winter months, I do get a bit dry right here, and my oil kind of subsides just a little bit during the winter months, I guess because the weather's changing and it's not so hot. But for the most part, I am oily in my T-zone and I am normal on the perimeters of my face. So if you guys watched one of my favorite videos, and I'll list it right here, I can't remember if it was August or September, but I do know that this was in one of my favorites videos because it is a foundation that I love and that I use quite often. Now, this foundation was something that I used in the past, and I did like it then, but it didn't work for my skin as well as it does now. So I went ahead and repurchased this. Now, there are some new shades to this line, but there aren't a lot of shades offered for this foundation, which I think kind of stinks because everybody else is jumping on the bandwagon and providing different undertones, different shades. So Chanel really needs to join in because there are so many different beautiful skin tones out there that making like 8 or 9 or 10 shades isn't going to be enough to cover everyone. That's the only downside to this foundation, is that it doesn't come in a variety of shades for different skin tones. But if you can find your shade in this foundation, I think it's a great foundation to pick up because it has a beautiful velvety look to it. So I definitely would recommend it if you can find your shade. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the information about this foundation. This is 1 ounce of product for $50. I did pick up mine at Nordstrom at the Chanel beauty counter, and it's available in 13 shades. So I went to the Chanel website, and it says here, it's a long-wearing sheer to medium coverage foundation that glides onto the skin with a velvet smooth matte finish and an ultra lightweight texture for natural looking results. It says its oil-free formula features a perfect skin affinity complex that provides lasting comfortable wear, while a perfect light control complex containing 2 types of semi-transparent powders blurs the look of pores and imperfections for a smooth, soft focus effect. How to apply for optimal results: shake the pack well before use. Once the ball inside stops, the formula is ready to go. Use fingertips to apply from the center of the face outward and build the coverage as needed. I don't use this with my fingers. I actually use it with a beauty sponge, and I'll show you which one. I used it with this one today. This is kind of an off-brand beauty sponge, but it's a really good one. But I used this today. I actually put it all over my face, and I used a different shade today as well. This shade right here is called B60. My daughter recently went to the Chanel counter and she picked up a sample of B40 for me. The B40 is what I have on today. I think it's a perfect shade right now because during the cooler months, I do lose some of my tan that I got from the summer, but I'm still going to keep the B60 because I will be using this shade more in the summer months. But I am going to pick up a B40 because the B40 is like perfect for my skin tone right now. So let me show you what the packaging is. It is a plastic bottle. It comes with a cap that screws off. It comes with a little nozzle at the end, and you actually have to shake it up really, really well before you use it. Pour it on the back of your hand or on a makeup plate, and then what I do is actually take my finger and then dab it all over my face and then go in with my sponge. Now, I can build this up to a medium-high coverage, which I absolutely love because if you guys have been watching me, I do love high coverage foundations. This one actually can be built up to that level. Now, it's not a high coverage, but it is a medium-high coverage, and that actually works for me because all I have to do is put on my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in those areas where I need a little bit more coverage. But yeah, you can use this sheer as well, or just use it as a medium coverage foundation. But like I said, when it goes on, it looks beautiful. It's very velvety, it's very soft-like, and it does blur like my fine lines. It blurs my pores, not as much as I like it to, but it does blur my pores to where I look like I don't have any issues with them. I will say that I do use a blurring primer in my T-zone at times, but then when I haven't used a blurring primer, this pretty much does what it says. It works really well in that area. Now, for primers, when I use this foundation, I will show you the primers that I use. Here lately, I have been using the Fenty Hydrating Primer because it is getting cooler outside and I do get a little bit drier, so I need a little bit more hydration. And I also love the Revolution Pro Hydro Matte Primer. I use that in my T-zone to keep the oils at bay. And then for my pores, I either go in with my e.l.f. Poreless Primer or I use this Tatcha primer for my pore area. But for the most part, like I said, if I don't have time to put on a blurring primer for my pores and I go in with this, I think it works just as good without that blurring primer. Now today, I did not put a blurring primer on. I only put the Hydro Matte Primer in my T-zone and then I put the hydration primer everywhere else. So let me go into a little bit more details of when I wear this foundation. I've worn this foundation for almost 13 hours and never had any issues with it breaking up. It looks just as good as when I put it on for the first time. I had been wearing this foundation during the summer months quite a bit, only because it is a matte foundation and I do have issues with that oily T-zone. And when I did wear this, it looked so beautiful on the skin and it lasted quite a long time. Here recently, I have used it when it's cooler outside. It doesn't make my skin feel like drying, or it doesn't make it feel like too tight, and it doesn't look drying on my skin. So I really love the finish that it gives off. I do set it with powder, and when I set it with powder, it still looks really good. It doesn't look like cakey or dry on my skin with that powder. So yeah, so I've really been loving this. If you're looking for something that where you want your skin to look like velvety soft and have that soft focus effect like it says, then you might want to try this. It is a bit expensive and it also seems like you're not getting a lot, but you're getting the 1 fluid ounce, which is pretty average for most foundations. But you can always go to Nordstrom and get a sample and try it and see if you really like it. So anyway, I do love this foundation. I haven't had any issues with this foundation. I feel like it does what it says. It looks super beautiful on the skin. And yeah, that's why it's one of my favorites. So let's go ahead and get into the demo so you guys can see how I apply this foundation. That's the end of the demo. I really recommend that you guys try it. I think you'll love it, especially if you're looking for a velvet matte finish. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I love you guys. Take care. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and we'll talk to you soon.